Okay, hi Bruno. It's nice to meet you. Uh, my name's Evan Bolle-Jones. I'm the chair of the Midlands Branch of the Nuclear Institute. A little background on the Nuclear Institute. It's a membership body for people working across the nuclear industry, and it works entirely for its members. So it helps undertake professional development activities, and a lot of the branches involve volunteering and support networks so that we allow our members to grow in their support of nuclear professionalism, but also we undertake education activities looking at the nuclear energy and technology and try and aid in public understanding and the uses of nuclear energy. So I guess the key thing we're here today, can you tell me why do you think iMAGINE and the zero power reactor are interesting for NI members?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I was just thinking while you introduced the Nuclear Institute. I think it's a future, and this is, I think, the most interesting thing. So people need to have a future. They have to. They should have an aim where to go to, even if it's far away. And I think iMAGINE has this potential being the nuclear of, I call it the nuclear of the 21st century. So we know it's a challenge, but we know we could do much better. And these two things together give us a good argument to convince the future generation, especially, about nuclear is a good thing. And the zero power reactor is just the stepping stone. This is the stone to go first. You have to start creating a reasonable development process step by step to get to the right dimension.
Fabulous. So I guess where do you see your core challenges for the project from, I guess, a future industrial application point of view and deployment?
There are a whole bunch of challenges. There is definitely the whole game of industrial application, a hot salt, corrosive, it has to be controlled. You have a reactor, so you have radiation damage you have to deal with. It is hot. We speak about very high temperatures. So all these challenges will come together. But on the other hand, we have designed this. We have maybe not all together, but we have, and it's about to find the right solutions, to learn from history what are the approaches to be done and how to make something industrially doable. That is one of the challenges. The other challenge is establishing the right recognition for nuclear, finding the right investment. It has to be driven in the beginning, like every new reactor concept, by the government. So we have to convince the government. And then we have to have the positive public view, and that closes the loop to, yes, that is exactly where we come for the Nuclear Institute. It's a potential future for the people. It's something to speak positive about nuclear.
So what is different in your project compared to other projects, for example, Moltex or Seaborg or other molten salt reactors out there?
Yeah, uh, you put the right word, reactors. Imagine the reactor is only a part of imagine. Imagine is a way of thinking, a way of thinking. How can we make nuclear the answer to the challenges of the future? And I say nuclear deliberately, I don't say a reactor, since it's the whole nuclear system starting from we dig a hole into the ground to we dig another hole into the ground to put the waste in. Everything what's in between. And I think we can get much better there. We can get to the closed fuel cycle. We can get to the optimum, but this requires more research and more thinking and more interdisciplinary working. Another good opportunity for the Nuclear Institute, bringing physicists, chemists, and engineers together to make this possible, and not like often the reactor developers who say we buy the fuel here and when it's burnt we give it into the hand of somebody who will manage it. We try to think the whole chain from the material which goes into the cycle And ideally, this is not fresh material. Ideally, it's material which is already lying around, and make energy out of it and think about what is the consequence, how can we optimize the waste management at the end.
That's fascinating. And I think it'll be really exciting for members to get involved in a project like this. Do you have a plan on how you intend to come from the idea? And the idea has obviously been in the thought process for a while now, but how you move it through the modeling and then into a real future physical nuclear system?
Yes, that is one of the main challenges. How to get to the point that a dream comes true, and the dream can't be a big reactor, since you can't build it from nothing. So what you need is a real reasonable stepwise approach, and that is why we have this zero power reactor project. So the idea is to go a first step, a zero power reactor, which is a system which doesn't produce power, which has the advantage that it's much easier in all the regulation procedures. You don't need to care for your heat extraction, so the heat extraction can't fail, which means you have eliminated a major part of your accident initiators, and you start there. You're on a solid ground, on a safe ground, where you do the first experiments, and then you have to take the regulator on board. The regulator is absolutely not used to a reactor where the fuel is not solid, and grow this together with the regulator in a next step, which will be a small scale demonstrator, since all the challenges only come together when you produce nuclear power and not before. And then you have this, you have to accumulate experience, and then you can go for the next level of a larger reactor.
Yeah, that's a very wise, taking in, I guess, baby steps on the way, and it will slowly grow and turn into a much bigger system. So where can the NI and our members support you with this?
Spread the word is, I think, the most important thing. And what is another important thing is what I always try to do is inform the people that there's no reason to fear about. Don't be afraid of. It's a new technology, but a new technology is not only a break in what you're doing, it's a new challenge. And I always say to people like in Sellafield, don't be afraid of that you have no job doing reprocessing anymore. You're world leading nuclear chemists, and there are in this process so many nuclear chemistry challenges on the way that I need all of you to pull on one string that we can get this going.
Oh, that's fabulous. And the NI is very good at reaching out and supporting and building the public perception of nuclear. For example, only recently they did a campaign on nuclear for net zero at COP26, which was a very big event. One thing that maybe is useful for our members is where can someone find out more information about this project and the progress and how it's going towards the future?
Yeah, so we have recently launched a new website which is called imagine-nuclear.com. I hope the title or the address is putting forward what we think about. Yes, see it as imagine nuclear could be the solution, and I think that is exactly our opportunity, and that is what we have to transfer, maybe first to the Nuclear Institute and then to the broader public, that it is a chance for the future to make nuclear the success it deserves, and which we have maybe sometimes lost out of our view when we got too much stuck into tiny detailed problems.
Well, that's brilliant. And thank you very much for talking to me, Bruno. It's been a very informative session, and I hope to see more of the iMAGINE concept going forwards.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure